Now let us see how to pass arrays to functions. Passing arrays to functions. This is the topic. We know we can pass values to functions. How to pass arrays as values to functions? Let us do example. Suppose we have a array here, int a, say 5. Let us put some values. I want to add the elements of this array. We have an array here, 5 element array with values 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5. I want to add these array elements and display the sum using the user defined function. For that I need to pass this array as argument to the user defined function. Let us first write the user defined function. The user defined function doesn't return anything, void, so add array. Suppose name of the function. What it will do, so this has to take an array from the main function, so it is int say b array. We don't have to specify the size of the array there inside the square brackets. The size you have to specify the second parameter, int size of the array. Now what we will do here, it will define a local variable I, then calculate the sum using for loop. I is equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. It also needs another variable called sum, int sum. Let us initialize sum to 0. So for all these elements, add each element to the sum. bi. Here you can see the add function. This adds an array. So it has two arguments. One argument is the array itself. It indicates that this is an array. Use square brackets, but no need to specify the size of the array here. Size of the array is specified as second argument. Now it defines two local variables, one local variable I and another one sum 0 initially. So for loop, I start with 0, it goes up to size I plus plus. Every time it will add each element of this array to the sum. That way the array is added, array elements are added, and simply display the sum. Printf total is equal to sum. That is how the total is displayed. Now let us call this from main. How do you call that? Add array and pass the array name. Only name is specified, nothing else, and then the size is 5. So you can observe here, this is array with 5 elements. We are calling the add array function with array first argument is array itself. Just specify the name, don't specify square brackets and all. Next element is size of the array 5. Now here inside the add array is local array variable b. No need to specify the size. The second one is the size itself. So it will take using for loop and size also. It will add all the elements and display the sum here. So the passing is important here. So inside the function we will declare like this, int b square brackets. You can specify the size of the array, not required. It's not important. Specify or don't specify, doesn't matter. The size is specified here, and while passing you just give the name of the array here. This is how the array name is passed to the function. Now let us run this and see. Total is 165. So total is 165. So this is displayed. This is one dimensional array passing. Now how do you pass the two dimensional array? Let us see that example also. This is two dimensional array. Let us have 3 rows, 4 columns, and let us have values also. This is our two dimensional array, 3 rows, 4 columns, some values given. So this is two dimensional array. So inside the user function, it has to be a two dimensional array. So let us specify second dimension also. Second dimension we need to specify. Then size also, 2 sizes are there, rows and columns. So int rows comma int columns. Specify rows and columns. Now here for addition it has to count both rows and columns. So int I0 I less than rows, I plus plus, it has to see columns also. Therefore we need one more loop. So we need one more variable. Let us have j, suppose j is equal to 0, j less than columns, j plus plus. Let us do this sum. Sum plus or equal to b I j. So this is how it is added. So here this is a 2D array. So specify both the dimensions, means there are 2 square brackets here to indicate that it is a 2D array. First dimension, that is rows, not required, but columns specify. Now columns and rows are specified here as two separate arguments. Now we use required variables here for two variables, one to count the rows, the other one count the columns. Then sum variable. So for I is equal to 0, I less than rows, I plus plus. For j is equal to 0, j less than columns, j plus plus. This counts the rows, this counts the columns. Then add each element with bij. Bij gives each element so add each element to the sum using double loop, then print the total. Then how do you call it? Here array name as usual and the number of rows, which is 3, then columns 4. That's it. Let's run. You can see total 270. All the elements summed together 270. So this is how the 2D array is passed. So while passing, give the name just, then rows, columns. Here it is declared as with 2 square brackets. It's to show that it is 2D array, and give only the columns, rows not required, even if you give it doesn't matter. Specify rows, columns also, and using the usual logic we can sum up. This is how the 2D arrays are passed as arguments to functions.